Okay, so let's say I'm listening to the program right now and I'm thinking, oh, geez, I'm not happy with my FICO score.
Yep.
What can they do?
This is Las Vegas Real Estate Now with local real estate expert Harvey Blankfeld.
Yeah, so the first thing is to get a little bit educated on it, right? So pull a copy of your credit report, go over it for errors, and you can understand what's being reported on there. My average client doesn't have any open trade lines. Once you get below a 580 credit score, you're trying to apply for credit, but you're not getting approved. And so where do you go? And most people don't know that secure credit cards. Secure credit cards add a ton of value on a credit report, more valuable than any home loan or any car loan.
Sure.
And then it's about how many trade lines you get. The more credit cards you have, the quicker your ability to build credit is, because the more trade lines you have positively reporting on a monthly basis.
Nice. Okay. So common sense doesn't always make credit sense. I like that statement that you put in your little outline here. We've seen it in the midst of transactions where someone who's looking to buy a home, they have a zero balance on one of their credit cards. Say, yeah, let's get rid of that account. Mm-hmm. Oops.
Yeah, oops. Oops is right. Oops is right. Yeah.
So you really want to maintain the capacity for borrowing.
You want to have the opportunity to borrow, right? For
right.
sure. You think about the bank, right? You two people walk into a bank. One person has one credit card and the ability to borrow $1,000 and has a zero balance, or someone else walks in the bank and they have 5 credit cards and the ability to borrow $20,000 and zero balances. Who would you rather lend to, right?
There you go. Yeah, makes
right.
perfect sense.
Yeah.
Okay, so when you work with the creditors, when someone's working with a creditor and they're trying to fix something, mm-hmm. and the creditor says, "Yeah, I'll take care of it. Don't worry about it."
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
Good enough, or
yeah, you always want to get documentation from the creditors, right?
Okay.
If you get documentation, then you can kind of control your own destiny. You can submit the information to the bureaus if the creditor doesn't follow through.
Nice.
Right? So back to what makes common sense doesn't make credit sense. So there's a few things there that I'd love to share.
Please.
One is most of the time paying collection accounts actually lowers your credit score, doesn't raise it. So you would think intuitively that
right.
going after and just let me get my credit report, let me square up with all these creditors that I used to that I owed money to in the past. Mm-hmm. Most of the time you're going to be driving your credit score down, because what you're doing is you're re-aging that account and bringing that negative account current.
I see.
Yeah.
So, I mean, can you end run the collection company and go back to the original creditor? And
depends. It depends. So, if the creditor has sold that debt to another party,
too late.
Mm-hmm. Then it's too late. But a lot of times there's joint ventures where there's another company collecting on behalf of that original creditor.
I see.
Then you can go back to that original.
And then maybe that would be a little bit better for your score, or maybe not effective.
It depends on how it's being reported.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, I mean, what I'm hearing is I really need an expert to help me with this stuff to get through this pile. If I'm looking to buy a house or I'm looking to do any kind of major purchase, I want to get my credit score squared away, because as you said before, the better my credit score, the lower my interest rate.
Yeah.
Right.
Sure.
I mean, that's the way creditors look at those things. If you have a lower credit score, you're a higher risk, so they're going to want to get more money.
So my average client is paying 19% on a vehicle loan.
Wow.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
And they don't know it. They know what their monthly payment
well,
is. They just don't know.
Yeah, because you go to the car dealer, he just tells you the payment, and that's
a good point.
A quick story about that. I was actually shopping for a car for my son, and he you know how they do? They go back to the sale, and they come back, and they make you sit down. Drives me crazy. Anyway, so I said, look, this is great, except this payment's too high. I need you to make this payment lower. Let's fix that. Here's my down. Make that payment lower, and we got a deal. He says, oh, okay. So he goes back to the sales manager. Comes back. He added a year to the payments.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah, that's what they do.
That's what he did. I'm like, no, this is not what I meant, guy. No, so and I'm watching the interest rate, because I'm watching it because I sell houses. I know interest rates is an important element to that. But that's what they do. And look, some car dealers are better than others, just like some realtors are better than others. And so you just be careful. So wow, 19%.
Yeah.
I mean, credit cards right now are charging 20 and 24, 25%.
Yeah, well north of 20.
Yeah, I've seen that as the credit card debt is piled up in the country of late, and so that's been a real issue for people. So, what about people's rights? I mean, when we talk about credit or collection, my dad was he was in the collection business, and I know he knows the laws very carefully.
Yeah.
There's certain things they can do and certain things they cannot do.
Yeah, and most people just don't know the basic rights, and so what we try and do is educate our customers. There's a law called the Fair Debt Collection Practices Act. It basically tells you what the creditors can and can't do. Understanding that law before you engage with the creditor, you're going to have a lot more confidence when you're negotiating with them, and they're giving you an offer that's good for today only, right? You're right.
Yeah.
So you just feel a lot more confident when you're speaking to them, and you know the place you're coming from. So typically, a small balance on a credit card is going to yield you a higher credit score return than you have in a zero balance, and So, like for our customer base, we have them get 3 secure credit cards, just $200 credit cards.
Right.
On a credit report, it's not what your limit is; it's about your percent of utilization.
Right.
So, a $5 balance on a $200 credit card is going to show 2.5% utilization. It's going to generate the same score power as if you had a $5,000 card with it.
It's crazy.
Isn't that wild?
Yeah.
Interesting.
And so you just have to use the card a little bit more responsibly. You have it a little tighter, right? But for our clientele, 3 $200 credit cards, same day you make a charge, pay $35 of the $40 off, let that report to credit.